So let's move on to our next fight. Another one which is, well, it might be one of the most heated fights on this entire show. It's Stromedy versus Austin Spritz. Now, let's look at these two. A lot on the line in this one, okay? There are houses. I think Stromedy's put both his houses. He reckons he's got two houses worth $2 million each on the line. Austin says, yeah, I'll sign over my Porsche if I lose. David, what have you made of these two? Two big characters this week.
Two absolute characters, and two guys who are not afraid to put it all on the line, as you said earlier on. I don't know if that contract has been signed yet.
Yeah, I think we need to find out before this fight begins. Have they signed this, well, big contract?
Yeah, exactly. And I think that has added to the intrigue of this fight. That's added to the buzz, the excitement, and added to the reason as to why loads of fans want to see exactly what's going to go down between these two.
Now, Vidal, we're seeing some open workout footage here, Stromedy on the pads.
Yeah.
Anything you can read from that?
Well, you know, to be honest, this is the first time I've heard of both guys. They definitely entertained me yesterday at the weigh-in. Looking at the pads, it looked like he was trying to get his technique down in front of the audience, which is not the ideal thing, but that is truthfully what I just saw.
And there we see Austin Spritz. And Joe, I think Austin was quite a late arrival here to the UK, so not only competing with his opponent type, but also potentially jet lag.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I think add to that the atmosphere of an actual fight. You know, these guys can spar all day long and you know, get success. But once you get here under the lights with the crowd, it's a different story. And it's, you know, across the card tonight, it's going to be interesting to see how everyone deals with that.
And these guys, of course, are so used to public attention. They've all got huge followings, but making that walk, it's something different. I think it's going to come in really into play in some of our later fights. But that another fantastic fight coming up, and we see here the weigh-ins. And look here. Wait, David, your shoes, did your shoes get wet?
Yeah, listen, my shoes tasted a little bit of water. There was a little bit of drip on my drip last night. I'm telling you, that for sure.
Not too much drip on the drip. They were, you know, they were all clean. But look, hey, that's an exciting fight coming up. And we see here, I think we're going to see here, something that happened yesterday at the weigh-ins. Stromedy continuing just to rile up Austin. Look at this. He's saying there, I'm going sloth hunting. I think he's insinuating that he thinks Austin is slow. Also, I think he's just trying to annoy him. He certainly has. That Austin has been riled up. You see the look on Austin's face there. And also, I think we might... Also, Stromedy has tried to remove the trousers of Austin Spritz on several occasions this week.
He has done indeed. He has on every occasion that he's been on the same stage with him.
He hasn't quite been able to do it. So if he wins tonight, do you think Vidal may well try and keg him in the ring?
You know what, it's a possibility. If we're going off probability, then he might try again tonight, even with the gloves on.
Anything can happen here tonight on Show Star Boxing. That's another one of our fights coming up tonight. Will someone get two houses? Will Austin get two that's huge. That's $4 million of houses.
I almost threw myself into the ring as well.
I'll go in there for that.
Nah, you're not the only one, bro. I'm telling you now.
Vidal's only just had a fight, but I think you're ready to step in there. Joe, I mean, it's been a while since you've stepped in, but for two $2 million houses?
That's the thing. I think, like, you know, the second you get the US involved, it always goes up a notch. You know, the cars, the everything. And if it's going more and more that way, I think we'd do a tag team match or something.
Well, we just saw there the drip on the drip. It all kicked off, and look, luckily it didn't kick off because we want to see them fight here tonight, and they're going to happen later tonight here in Wembley. Let's take a look at our next fight. These are the first two fights.
Oh my days.
And this is what we've had.
I told you I'm excited.
Let's take a look at our next fight. We have got, Pretty Boy. Pretty Boy, is that our next fight? I think it is. This fight was only made literally 24 hours ago. Anthony Taylor was supposed to be actually joining us here as a pundit to take us through the fight. We had a fight drop out earlier in the week. He was like, hey, I'm flying across on Friday. I'll jump in. He is fighting the Mellow Fellow. Again, a late addition to this. Pretty Boy does have experience. He is a training partner of Jake Paul. So, David, what did you make of this contest? And, well, the presence of someone who's as charismatic as Pretty Boy.
Listen, he absolutely loves it. He knows what the show is all about, and that's what I love about it. Though he hasn't been here for the previous days of Fight Week, he brought the energy, he brought the excitement, he brought the entertainment that was necessary for a show like this, and I think he's really going to entertain these fans. And
Vidal, look, you're a pro. You know what it's like to step in there. When you step in there on such short notice, that's got to be a hindrance for both these competitors.
For sure. You know, the people that love to fight, they're willing to make those sacrifices. That's what these two guys have done to save the show. It will affect the performance, of course, because they haven't prepped for each other, but I still expect to see two fighters with experience put on a good show.
And Joe, look, the mellow fellow, he is the local fighter. He's not had to take that transatlantic fight. If you got to give the upper hand to either of these two, is the lack of that 12+ hour flight going to be the difference maker?
I mean, you'd think so, but saying that, Pretty Boy, you know, he's been on the Jake Paul card, he's been here, he's done it. Experience is so valuable in this. So, you know, looking at that confidence, well, Geezer with his top off versus Geezer in a rain Mac. I don't know about that, but like, it should be an interesting one.
I've never seen someone wear a rain Mac.
As well, isn't it?
But Anthony Taylor, also a former MMA fighter, fought on Bellator, fought on Bama in this very arena. So, you know, he's used to making the walk, and he's someone who just adores the limelight. So I don't think he's going to feel any jet lag going into that fight. An exciting one. We'll see if the Rain Mac comes out later tonight. Our next fight, let's take a look at what is coming up next. This one is, again, I say this fight's a heated fight. These have all really heated up throughout this entire week. Our next fight up is DK Money versus Ryan Taylor. This one, again, I think yesterday, David, at the weigh-ins, we really saw would it be nerves, or would it just be that 24 hours from a fight really come to fruition?
I'd say it's the 24 hours before a fight come to fruition. Ryan had enough of the talking. You see what I'm saying? Early on in the week, he was giving the Conor McGregor, he was giving it the full-on energy. And yesterday, he was just like, I'm done with the talking. I've been talking enough. I'm ready to get in that ring and show DK Money what it's all about.
We'll see some action here from the open workouts, and look, Vidal, we know that Ryan is training with the likes of Kane Musa, a very well-experienced competitor, but also DK Money, another competitor that did come in late to the UK. This could be an hindrance to it.
It could affect his performance. And looking at the footage here, he's got quick hands. You know, he's looking sharp on the pads. He's a southpaw, nice sidestep there. So he looks like he's been putting in work in the gym. I'm excited to see DK tonight.
How much can you tell from an open workout, though? Are people trying to hide things there?
You can't tell too much. You know, you can tell like natural rhythm, fluidity in movement, stuff like that, reflexes, but nothing with a person in front of you can replicate that.
We'll look over here, Joe, at the weigh-ins from yesterday, and here is DK Money. As I said, looks a little like the week maybe starting to get on him, and then look, Ryan was very braggadocious throughout this week, very much more focused. And Joe, should this be how he is, just 24 hours from a fight, focused on what's to come?
Well, it's all interpretation really, because he may look focused, or this may be a way that he's trying to, you know, deal with anxiety or nerves or stress. So you don't know, you know, that far out. I mean, how many days out was that?
This is yesterday.
That was yesterday. I mean, even in 24 hours, if you've just got adrenaline pumping through you,
just watch
that can
this.
drain you.
Just watch this. This interaction here, I think, said a lot. There's
What's been said?
I think just the body language here. Look, Ryan trying to get into his head.
Yeah.
And you see DK Money there. This look on his face is that he knows a fight's coming. I can't tell if that's nerves or if that's just, again, this week really piling up on him.
Yeah, totally. I mean, that's the thing. Everyone has a different way of dealing with it. Some try to be laid back. Some try to really take in the crowd and interact with the crowd. Some are just head down, focus. So it's interesting. This is a first for a lot of these guys. So how are they going to deal with it? I can't wait to find out.
Before we move on, let's talk about your fight. What did it feel like for you when you first made that walk to the ring?
Yeah, mental. I mean, I hadn't slept the night before. I just couldn't sleep. I was so gassed. Like, I was really excited. And then obviously, like the next day, I don't know if you've had it where you're really excited about something and you're not hungry, you can't stomach a lot. So I couldn't stomach a lot, and then I actually threw up before I came out. So it was not a good series of events. And then you make that walk, and you're like, right, there's no turning back now. I'm ready. I don't care what's happened before. I'm ready. But either you truly are or you're not.
Yeah, and Vidal, you made the walk multiple times.
Yeah.
How much can you tell about an opponent when you're looking at them as they make their way to the ring?
Well, you know, a lot of communication is not verbal, and you have to really value that in the sport of boxing and read off your opponent's energy. From a ring walk, you can tell a lot. At that point, it's maybe too late. You should be noticing these things earlier in the week. But body language is a key thing in sport in general. And, yeah, I see that tonight.
What can these guys be doing now, these competitors be doing now? Literally, you know, this card starts in the next 30 minutes. Some of these fights are a few hours out. What can they be doing now to best prepare themselves?
Put themselves in the most relaxing position as possible. Literally, wherever you feel most relaxed, think about that now. There's no need to think about anything else. You know your game plan. You've had your camp. Put yourself in a relaxed state, and that way you'll perform better.
Well, we'll see if they take your advice later on tonight. But let's look at our next fight. And this one, well, yeah, this one is a heavy weight affair. The two biggest competitors on this card will be facing off. 200+ kilo athletes are going to be going at it. And look, when we get heavyweights, that it's not always about the skill. It's about just connecting with a punch. You look at the weights here. We got Arms Corione, 108 kilograms. We've got Minicon at 102. They are two big fellas. And David, you saw them up close yesterday at the weigh-ins.
Absolutely, I did see them both at the weigh-ins. I've seen them throughout the entirety of the week. Minicon really trying to get underneath Arms' skin over there. And we know Arms has got a point to prove as well, especially after that MMA fight that he had. So this one is going to be a very, very, very tasty matchup, and one that we can expect or hope for, indeed, a knockout. Something exciting, something electrifying, and I can't wait to see this.
Yeah, look, Vidal, what makes heavyweight boxing so different and so special?
The chance of a knockout. It is really that simple. You know, when two big guys get in there and throw hands, someone has the potential to get decked. Someone has the potential to be KO'd, and the fans come to see it. And with this fight, I'm putting my prediction out already. I think there will be a KO win. I'm not picking a guy.
We thought we were going to get you somewhere.
It's too early for that guy, early in the stream.
Joe, there's two very different physiques between these guys. Arms, we're seeing Arms there. I mean, he has got triceps on top of some things I don't even know should exist. And then Minicon is a different physique, shall we say. Which has its pluses, which has its minuses? Who would you be putting your money on?
Well, of course, you know, Corleone is going to have the strength and power. You'd think that explosive explosiveness. I mean, he's obviously a gym goer. He's a weightlifter by trade. Now, his opponent, obviously a lot more slender, and you could actually, you know, argue that he's going to be more nimble, more lighter on his feet. Obviously, he's not, you know, they are similar weights, but he's not going to have so much muscle that's going to be requiring oxygen that's going to be thus like knackering him out. So I think Arms needs to connect early, and if it goes into later rounds, yeah, I just can't see Corleone lasting longer.
Chiseled from a rock. There is no other way to say that.
Yeah.
But look, Arms has actually come down in weight for this fight. Minicon has come up in weight. Now, when a competitor changes their physicality, that can have effects both good and bad, can't they, David?
It can indeed. It can indeed. Many times we see it all throughout the different weight divisions, how fighters react to either coming up or going down in weight. Obviously, at the heavyweight limit, they don't really have a limit from that perspective. So I'm sure neither of them were, what would I say? Neither of them were really straining themselves or really having to massively diet. And that's the benefit of fighting at heavyweight.
No, I agree with you there, David. I 100% agree. I think what a lot of people have to take into account about weight loss as well, even though Arms has come down, doesn't mean he'll be weaker. He could be quicker, he could be stronger, he could move more efficiently. As muscle-bound as he is, losing weight will help him in this fight.
But conversely, when you put on weight and you go above where you naturally walk, where you've naturally done athletic disciplines in the past, how can that affect you?
It can affect you if the fight goes longer than 2 rounds, really. In the beginning, it's not something you feel. It's more as the fatigue sets in, you start to recognize these factors are apparent, you know. But I feel like they both have the mentality today that they want their bragging rights. That bad blood is there. I can't wait.
And Arms is training out of London Shoot Fighters, a very well-known gym. Also along the great Michael Venom Page, MVP, who made a walk here in this very arena several months ago and lit up the place. Hopefully, this show will light up the OVO Arena again tonight. But now, let's move on to our... Oh, actually, no, we're not moving on to our next fight. We're going to hear from someone who isn't able to be here with us today. He is doing a lot of content, being a real asset to this brand, to the build-up to everything here. We want to hear now from the very vocal, the very educated Wade Plem.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, my pleasure to present your newest commentator for Showstar Boxing. A lot of people have their opinions based off things that they don't really understand the timeline of, so I would say to those people, watch what happens next, because I've seen Alex grow to a degree that's quite frankly super impressive. Of your main event, he is representing the UK. You may know him as Deji, but he is also a tank. My man, Deji, how you doing, brother?
I'm good, thank you, man. How are you?
Now, on behalf of Showstar, on behalf of the Wade concept, and I gotta be honest, on behalf of the most alpha member of the Beta Squad, the king himself, King Kenny is here. Kenny, what's up, my man?
Let's go, man. It's the main man, Wade. What's good?
On fight night, who won their face-to-face? Who's telling the truth? Who's ready for this fight? And who is bluffing their ass off? fight. That's what you want to see.
TV $6.99.
Yeah, we like that. Training is over with. You can't go back and fix it. You hope that they put in the work. And now, under the lights and between those lonely ropes of the squared circle, U.S. versus UK. Who wins? We're less than 24 hours away. Guess we'll find out.
Message to my fans, I love you all. I hope you all tune in to watch this crazy fight. It's going to be fun. I hope you entertain you, and it's going to be a night to remember.
The Russian hitman's coming out. It's not going to be Vitaly.
He's a dog. You can't beat up chicks and get away with it. Vitaly is a scumbag.
I'm going to fucking demolish him. It's his life, his choice.
Ah! Dirty, steroid, monkey.
All the stress, all the anger through 29 years of my life is going to go straight through his face.
I'm going to stand in that ring, I'm going to let him hit me, laugh at him, I'm going to beat him down.
What do you think this Barbie doll is going to do to me? Nothing. It's his life, his choice. 60 seconds.
Wow. Again, yet another volatile affair coming up later tonight. Joe Weller's gone to get prepared for our opening contest. Very pleased to be joined by Chunks. Thank you. We're going to be talking about some people you know very well in a few moments, but let's focus on this fight. Now, look, again, David, you've been up close with these guys all week. The animosity between these two competitors is 100% real, is it not?
Listen, it's sensational animosity. I'm telling you, it's that kind of that anger, that venom, that drives eyeballs to watch these guys fight, and it's also the intrigue. You've got somebody who is far bigger in size and more muscular than the other, but you've got the bravery that's shown in Christian Hamby. That it's like, oh my days, he could really have a chance of winning this.
We can see a weight discrepancy there. I think it was 76 kilos to 93. That is quite some difference in the old weight. How much will that come into play?
Yeah, that's going to come into play a lot in there. I feel like the heavier guy knows I just have to touch you. The smaller guy knows I have to move and try and touch you. He's got 2 jobs to do, so big difference.
The one thing that will be on Christian Hamby's side is the crowd. We saw him here at the open workout, and the crowd was most certainly behind him. Chunks, you know, the crowd here tonight in Wembley are going to be going absolutely well, particularly by the time this fight comes up. How much could the crowd really help push Hamby forward?
I feel like that's going to be a big push for Hamby, because obviously they're cheering for him, whereas they're going to be booing for the other, I mean, for Vitaly. So it could definitely be. But then, to be fair, I feel like just the animosity could actually drive Vitaly to actually become a world beater all of a sudden. You know what I mean? So it depends on how each person takes it at the end of the day.
Yeah, Ryan Hamby's been training out in Dubai. I think he's had Charlie Sloth as his head coach. I'm not sure how qualified Charlie Sloth is to be a boxing coach.
Spinning the tunes, mate. He's been spinning the tunes, saying perfect
he's also
every time he hits one.
He's also been training with strongman competitor Chris Boyd, pulling trucks. So some quite unorthodox training, as there was some unorthodox outfits for Vitaly at the weigh-ins. I mean, one thing we know, we're getting his true weight. There's no sand in his pockets. That's for sure. But again, this is all game playing here. But I don't know how much Vitaly's really endearing himself to the crowd here in London.
I don't think he cares. I genuinely don't think he cares. I don't think he wants to endure himself to the crowd. He wants to knock this guy out within 60 seconds. He's been saying it from day one to now. That's all his prediction has been. 60 seconds. I'm going to put you to sleep. I'm going to annihilate you and knock you out.
No, but that's a lot of pressure to come in there saying, not just I'm gonna win, but saying, hey, I only need 60 seconds.
That's crazy. You know, it's a elite level of confidence, extreme level of confidence, and why not? Why not? At the end of the day, he's the one training, he's the one fighting. If that's how he feels, let him feel that way. Yeah, but now he has to live up to it.
We can see here the focus at the face-offs yesterday at the weigh-offs, and Hamby laughing quite literally like a hyena. I think you can lip read there. Vitaly saying, what is it? Not a flinch either. Chunks, from this body language here, what do you make of this fight?
I feel like Hamby's actually prepared, because at the end of the day, Vitaly's saying he's going to knock him out in 60 seconds. He might not have the tank for it. So he might generally try his best to knock him out in that first round, because he doesn't have the tank for however many rounds they're going to do. Do you know what I mean? So, to be fair, it could work out in Hamby's favour, to be honest.
Could Vitaly be too amped up? You know, when you're competing, emotion can only take you so far. Sometimes when you're too emotional, you're too amped up, you can make mistakes.
Absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt. That definitely plays into it. And Vidal said it a little bit earlier on when he was talking about, at this stage, right before the fight, if you step into any professional boxing changing room, it is so calm and relaxed. Especially even prior to arriving at the venue. Many a times I've been inside their hotel rooms during the day, and I'm like, man, these guys are just chilling out as if it's another Saturday. And when you see fighters that early behave that way, and then you see how they perform in the ring, then you understand it all starts to make sense, because using all of that anger and ferociousness and keeping that bottled inside of you, you're wasting energy, wasting valuable
Very
energy and that. So 100%.
So, to your mind, does Vitaly have to calm down here?
You know, as much as I agree with everything that you said, David, because it is true, everyone is different. That's a reality as well. Everyone is different. Maybe he wants to be this. Maybe he needs to be this way. Maybe him being too relaxed works as adversity for him. So I just want to see what he has to do.
Vitaly's been on a journey. I think he's quite a divisive character. There wasn't a lot of love for him since he arrived here in London. But, you know, he's saying he's, I think, 90-something days sober now. He's been training for this fight. And, you know, boxing, a lot of these competitors here, they're not coming here particularly for the paycheck. They're coming here as part of a personal journey sometimes. And do we think that Vitaly kind of needs this tonight to go out there and prove to himself that he can train, that he can focus, and that he can compete inside a boxing ring?
I think regardless, he's been successful, because the fact he's here today and he's going to get in the ring, that's already like admirable, because, you know what I mean, it takes a lot of guts jumping into the ring, Vidal could tell you, you know what I mean? So the fact he's here today and he's ready to fight, he's already done himself proud. But yeah, actually getting the dub, that's the next big thing. And let's see if he can do it. Obviously, I want both of the guys to do as well as possible and to be safe. That's the most important thing, but let's see what happens.
And look, Vidal, you know, you compete in there. What do you think it is about this sport that drives so many competitors who, again, a lot of the people here are so successful in so many other ways. They don't need to be here. They don't need to be fighting, but they've chosen to display and to train for something.
You know, this is what I wanted to say as well. I was thinking about earlier at home. These guys deserve they have the right to do this. You know, they've worked so hard in their chosen fields that they want a new challenge. They have a right to want to challenge themselves in life. And if the sport of boxing has gravitated you towards it for whatever reason, everyone has a different reason, they have earned the right to be here, and they should all be proud of themselves.
And let's be honest, a lot of people have had, a lot of boxing purists have said a lot of things about this, let's call it influencer boxing. They're just coming in, they're not really showing the best skills in the world. But look, for someone like yourself who's inside the boxing industry, what do you make of this kind of an event?
Honestly, these things should happen. I don't see why not. Just because you started off on one platform or doing one thing doesn't mean you shouldn't be able to change to something else. As long as you are giving your dedication to whatever you do, you should do it.
And one thing we have seen all fight week is a lot of young people turning up, a lot of young fans, a lot of people who, let's be honest, may not have connected with this sport if it wasn't for some of their, you know, favourite online personalities doing this. And David, that's really important to keep the sport and nurture the next generation.
Absolutely. Listen, one of the key things to keep this sport alive is appealing to the younger audience, appealing to new faces and new fans, and that is exactly what this does. This is exactly what it's like evangelism for boxing to the younger demographic, and I think it's incredibly powerful. And as Vidal said, these have earned the right to do this through their hard work and dedication in their different chosen fields to now step on this stage and compete against each other. I think it's a brilliant thing, and I think boxing itself, in the long run, is only gonna benefit from it.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. What Showstar are doing here tonight, I think, will hopefully be the first of some really great positive events here in the UK. Okay, let's move on now to our co-main event, one that many people are saying could steal the show. It's King Kenny versus FaZe Temper.
I see fear, lack of confidence, probably because you've only got one look. You wasn't aware of Beta Squad?
No.
Your whole team literally tried to sign us. I know FaZe Banks, FaZe Joff. I don't know who you are in FaZe.
All I'm saying is, FaZe Temper, you're going to regret stepping in the fucking ring with me, mate. People have no idea what's coming on Saturday.
FaZe Temper's coming to my town to get destroyed, humiliated, and I'm sending him back to America.
I'm about to embarrass Kenny in front of his hometown. I'm representing USA and Brazil, and you know I'm bringing that W back.
To all the fans, I hope you enjoy the fight tonight. I'm going to be performing at my best, and enjoy the show.
Wow. Co-main event, and with great reason. While watching that VT play, Chunks, the look on your face. I won't say what you said because it's a little bit before 9 o'clock, but I can tell you're nervous. You've got a close bond, of course, with Kenny. Tell us what you've seen him go through these last few weeks.
I'll be honest, the guy is an actual monster. He's an animal. Obviously, he's been working hard for the last year. Whenever we had like filming videos, or when we're filming videos as groups, or when we're filming individual videos, and people need Kenny's help, he'll be more than happy to help. But then he's got to go training before or training after, or he's just literally dedicated his life around this for the last year, and he's just really, really like honed it in. And I'm just so excited to see what he can do tonight.
What do you think it means to him to finally come out here in front of you, his friends, but also, you know, a stacked over Wembley Arena and display everything he's been working on?
Honestly, he's amped up. He looks ready. He does not look like he's not fearful at all, which is crazy to me, because you know what I mean. You're jumping in the ring and you're going to be getting punched up. You know what I mean? Well,
we can see here at the open workouts the support that was Kenny.
Yeah,
was
yeah. Come on. We're in London, you know what I mean? You have to. If this is LA, it'll be something different, I guarantee.
This whole event is UK versus US, and that will be a narrative throughout the night. But boxing's a solo sport. All these competitors want to rep the country, of course, but they're out there fighting for themselves.
Get him on the pads, man.
We see his brother there also.
Respect my brother.
Vidal, what have you made of the development of King?
Listen, I am so impressed. Honestly, I'm so impressed of Kenny. Like,
thank you.
When I when I saw him last week at JJ's concert, and I felt his arm, I said, no. I said, Kenny, you're an athlete. I said, you're an athlete. And that's a fact that happened just last week. I'm just excited to see him perform, and his technique is looking very crisp. His hands are looking fast. His mindset, the energy that's coming off him, his shape, you can see him here.
Look at him.
Honestly, I respect the man.
This is again yesterday at the weigh-ins, and focused. I mean, I got to do the face-to-faces early this week at the start of fight week, and Kenny's demeanor has been the same the entire fight week. He's been focused. He's come in here knowing he's got a job to do. He knows there's pressure. He knows there's expectation on his shoulders. But look, you see the stare off here. Not a flinch. Not a flinch. And David, you know, of course, you've been with the guys all week as well, and a lot of people have talked about how much that Temper hasn't posted about his training. Every other competitor on this card has been documenting what they've been doing, showing everyone how they've been developing. Temper, no one knows what he's been doing.
Listen, that's why a lot of people think Temper's been out here sandbagging. He's sandbagging us all. A lot of people think, you know, Temper is actually ready for this fight way more than he's been showing so far, and that is what brings this fight so much intrigue. This is a potential fight of the night, to be honest with you, for me, because you just don't know. For me, you can see the leaps and bounds of which King Kenny has gone, but when it comes to Temper, it's like, well, we have, like you said, we have no idea. And from that perspective, he's not going to want to come out here and embarrass himself. Like you said, none of these guys have to do this. So if he's putting himself in this ring, you know that he's coming with something. The question is it going to be enough? And
Vidal, look, again, you compete in there. How hard is it to prepare for a competitor who you have no idea what they're bringing? Again, a lot of the guys in this card haven't had experience, but at least they've been posting fighter footage, posting progress. Temper,
nothing, not one thing. It will be difficult, but at the end of the day, you got to learn the basics of the game anyway. You know, I feel like the longer you do the game, the more you adjust your game plan to the opponent, because you already got the basics down. These guys have improved massively, but it's still the beginning of their boxing careers, so they would have been nailing the basics regardless of what your opponent's doing.
And Chunks, of course, we know that Daly, Kenny's brother, is his coach. He's also coaching a competitor in our main event. We'll come on to that in a few minutes' time. But what do you think it means for Kenny to sort of follow in the footsteps a little bit of his brother and use his brother in his camp? That's quite a personal sort of family story there.
Yeah, obviously the fact that he's had Daly as a brother and he hasn't really delved into the boxing scene, and we've always been confused about that. You know what I mean? Just, oh, your brother's a professional boxer. Oh, and you know what I mean? He's got loads of professionals underneath him, but it's amazing that he's finally used his brother's expertise and actually got into the ring from. And Daly's incredible at what he does. I've gone to loads of training sessions and seen him spar, and you know what I mean? Kenny was boxing flipping professionals, bro. You know what I mean? Professional boxers. So I don't know whatever Temper's going to bring today, but it can't be a professional boxer's level. Do you know what I mean? And Kenny wasn't out of his depth even there. So I feel like whatever he wants to bring, he's ready for it. But Daly, shout out to Daly as well, incredible.
What do you think it will mean for Kenny, but also for you as one of his closest friends, to see him make the walk?
I'm shaking now.
I can see you.
We can see you. That man's actually, because obviously I've come to the KSI fights, so, you know, I've been at all of them, and I was nervous because I'm very close to JJ, but the bond that me and Kenny have is completely different. You know, obviously as the sidemen, I'm guessing that the Mini Minters and the Vidals were shaking in their boots, even though they were confident in JJ's style and ability. They were still nervous. You know what I mean? And that's just me right now.
Listen, Chunks is right. Like, when you know you're training someone, this is his friend. Imagine you're the trainer and you put
I can't even.